Welcome to another DCS tutorial, and today we're looking at SEAD, or rather DEED missions using HTS. Nope, not the Vipers harm targeting system. This is the Harrier targeting system, or even the Hornet, or maybe the Hog targeting system. It's not a piece of hardware, but instead a method of finding SAM sites quickly and accurately. And in reality, it does work much like HTS, but it's done manually. As you can see, these aren't the typical aircraft or warlords which you would normally associate with taking on SAM sites. However, the Harrier and probably the Hornet and Hog can definitely take out SAM sites that a Viper with only harm and HTS couldn't even dream of. So let's take a look at how we do it. Okay, we're currently over Syria, and somewhere out here is an SA6 battery, and any moment now we should hopefully be getting mud. And as soon as that happens, we're going to aim straight for it. And there we are. We're now pointing directly at the SA6, so we're now going to change your waypoint. Waypoint 1 in this instance, but ideally a spur waypoint. We want to place that on our current flight path. And if you don't know how to create and edit waypoints, then skip to the end of the tutorial and I'll give it a quick once over. Okay, that's done. So now we're going to change to waypoint 2 and move that some distance ahead. Ideally further than the radar, but as we don't know its location, I'll look at the worst case, so at least 50 miles for an SA6, but it doesn't matter if we go further. We need the direction to be accurate as possible, so if necessary reduce the map scale from 100 miles down to 13 miles. That's the second waypoint set, so now we're going to turn away from the target. What we're looking to do is to move around the target by at least 10 degrees, preferably 15 to 20 degrees. Now for an SA6, that's going to be about 15 miles, but it doesn't have to be precise. Now you want to keep as far away as possible to stay safe, but just within his detection range. So just follow a nice easy arc. Just going to speed up time a little bit so I don't have to sit and wait. Okay, that should suffice. So what we're going to do now is slow down, roll on target again, and do exactly the same with waypoints 3 and 4. We'll line back up with the SA6, so let's set waypoint 3 at our current location. And once again, we're zooming in to put the waypoint as accurately in front of our flight path as possible. And finally waypoint 4, and notice how I roughly place this on the map and then zoom in, but use the HUD to refine the position. And now if we zoom out, hey presto, X marks the spot. Now that should be good enough to estimate the range for a harm or sidearm shot, but if we don't have those, then we can do much better. So I'm going to mark X as a target of opportunity and then actually try and find a target on my T-pod. So I'm going to use HTS mode just to roughly designate the position, and then use INS mode to refine it a little and zoom in if necessary. Okay, let's switch over to INS mode now. Okay, that looks as good as we're going to get. So we're going to mark that as a target of opportunity. And we can see that we are 41 miles from the target. Finally, let's get back to HTS mode and take a look around and see if we can actually find that SA6 battery. And there we are. That must be accurate to within about a mile, and there's no way you'd be able to locate that SAM from this range by blindly scanning around. I'm now going to reset my target of opportunity and then do a pop-up attack with laser guided rockets. So if you want to follow me in on the attack, then please do, as I have some tips there as well. But if not, and you want to understand how to manipulate the map and waypoints, then feel free to skip to the last section. On the T-pod, you'll see that we can't see the SA6 anymore, and we're at 2,000 feet. That's because it's masked by a small hill, and because we're locked precisely onto target, we can use the pod to keep us completely hidden without having to fly dangerously low. As I said, I'm going to attack with laser guided rockets, which have a maximum range of 8 miles, but at ground level it's about 6 miles. Now the SA6 has a minimum engagement range of 4 miles, so hopefully I will be able to stay out of sight until it's far too late for him to respond. If that's looking unlikely, I might loft the rocket unguided and then pop up to laser it onto target. And if that doesn't make sense, then please check out the SA-15 attack on my APKWS tutorial. We're just approaching our maximum launch range and we're still safely at 400 feet, so let's get a little bit closer. Four miles, let's turn on our laser. And ripple. And shack 1 snowdrift. That wraps up the main part of this tutorial, and so if you need to take out a few easy to attack search radars, then feel free to use a Viper with harms and HTS. If you have something really well defended whose location is unknown, or if you need to take out more than just a few targets, then I'd leave this toy in the hangar and get a proper attack aircraft, like this one. Okay, we're now in the Falklands on a flight with just 2 waypoints. Now, ideally, you'd have 4 spare waypoints preset in the editor, but if not, we can add our own waypoints. And to do that, we click Data on the map. We then enter the next waypoint number, which in this case will be 3, and then press enter. Now select pause on the ODU and enter a longitude similar to the one that we already have. So here it's south 5140 and then we'll put 00. But before we hit enter, take a note of a latitude, which is west 5747. Now we can enter a latitude, noting that you must add a 0, so it will be 05747 and then 00, enter. Now just press data on the map and that's it, an additional waypoint has been created. We can now select the waypoint and go back into data mode and move it around using the TDC to place it where we want it, like we did in the main tutorial. OSB 20, which is SCL or scale, lets us change the map scale for more accurate positioning. We can then come out of data mode and click on OSB 3 for map to let us turn map features on and off. OSB 14 is overlay 2, and this is the most important one we need here, as that puts on the route lines. OSB 4 turns the waypoint sequence numbers on, which is also useful, especially if you have normal waypoints which coincidentally form an X and you aren't sure which is the correct one. I'm not going to cover the AHSD and map in any more detail, as that's probably for another video. So I'm going to set this thing down and enjoy the sunrise. So thank you for watching, and if you learned anything, please do hit like and subscribe.
Power. Crash.